Uganda operates in a free market environment, and given its very youthful population, it's very true to say that the business environment is quite favorable for anyone to start a business, be it small, medium, or even large. So today on the podcast, Center Live Podcast, we want to dive into this conversation on how to do business in Uganda, how to grow your business, and of course, the simple mistakes, the day-to-day mistakes that you and I can avoid just in case we start a business. So welcome once again. I'm your host, Sandra Twinobdio. Welcome to Center Live Podcast. And today we are joined by Mr. Michael Jingo, who is the General Manager, that is Commercial Banking at Centenary Bank. Many thanks for joining us on the podcast today. Our main concern with you, Michael, is to understand as a bank also where you stand. What are the mistakes that you see on a daily with Ugandans who are trying to either expand, start a business?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sandra. And allow me to take this opportunity to salute the viewers and the people who are tuned in to this podcast. Many times we in the field, we interact with the customers, we interact with the business persons, and I'll tell you quickly that the biggest challenge is around record keeping. Many times our customers would avoid record keeping for several reasons. One, to avoid the taxman; the other, to casually run their businesses. So record keeping is one of the biggest challenges, which we actually stopgapping by way of doing financial literacy training in regard to bookkeeping, accounting, and of course corporate governance, which we recently held. The other challenge that we've seen is financing to be able to scale. You will find a very good bankable project, but without funds to scale up. And that comes with, of course, stunted growth. Say you have a business potential of 100 million, but your working capital is 10 million. So at all times you'll work within 10 million, but of course there's that other excess that you should be able to play within and scale your business. And that's how banks come into stopgap. We have quite a number of solutions by way of working capital facilities, the loans, the guarantees, the credit limits that can be able to bridge this gap. And many times we certainly arrange and structure facilities for these SMEs to scale up their businesses. The other challenge is, of course, collateral. Most of the businesses that would have wanted to take out financing don't have collateral. But again, that hope is not lost. We've been able to work out arrangements with the de-risking partners like ABI, like AGF, like ATI, again, to do part de-risking on our behalf. And that way, even with little collateral, you're able to take out a facility and scale up your business. So those are the key challenges that our customers do have. Of course, if we get them to harmonize or to solve those challenges, then the businesses will be scaled up.
Would you say that Ugandans are actually very entrepreneurial? From your experience, are you on a daily seeing people start businesses?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Would you attribute it to the wonderful environment that we have? What is it that drives Ugandans to start businesses?
I think even before we had peace in this country, Ugandans have been very entrepreneurial. Having visited some of the countries out of Uganda, certainly you'll agree with me that Ugandans are very entrepreneurial. I'll place it as 6 out of 10 people at least have a business idea. Then 4 out of 10 try out that idea. Looking out in the guys who are employed, the people who are in employment, I'll place it about 60% have a side hustle. And that makes it very entrepreneurial. Just moving across to Kenya, where quite a number of people are in employment, they don't have these good stats. And of course, again, we must appreciate that 70% of our population is below the age of 40. And that is a young population, very fluid, very agile, and very innovative. Yeah. Then the other stat that you will probably be interested in is 52% of the Ugandans are female. That is one. And going to the SMEs, over 65% of the businesses are women-led. So if you say 51% of the population is ladies and they're actually active on the SME front, then that means that the ladies are even more innovative than the gents and more active in the business.
You did mention that about 4 out of 10
Yes.
who have the idea actually push ahead and try to start, the business idea. It doesn't stay on paper, they try to implement it. Why do you think a bigger percentage of people do not implement their business ideas?
Well, there's that fear of the unknown. And also, I would again give you a stat that 85% of the businesses never see or never leave to celebrate their second birthday. So the mortality rate of the startups is actually up in the sky. You will have a good idea, you have a very good economic and political environment, but the business environment may not facilitate you to quickly scale up your business or even survive for that matter. So quite a number of people will always have the idea, try it out the first time, but of course never leave to see it, to grow, to scale, and probably expand into other or pivot into other areas. So that's a challenge.
So how would you advise someone that is watching us today, who's just landed on this podcast, who has that business idea and is thinking, where do I start from? I'm scared of the unknown that you've mentioned.
Of course, quickly I'll give the advice that it starts with passion. With passion you could even move the mountain before it has actually moved. You believe that everything is possible. It starts with that. And as we speak today, the economy is not that exactly that normal or that facilitative of growth. We have a kind of a recession, and that calls for resilience, and that's where I rely more. Any startup today must be very resilient. That is, it borders on being very good at optimizing the costs, very good at that. You need to have a mentor. You need to have somebody to guide you through. Then you need to also do the right bookkeeping. The Pareto principle should come into play, whereby you need to identify the 20% of your prospects that will give you 80% of the income, and you concentrate on them. Then defining your niche. As we speak today, it's very important to look out for blue ocean strategies within your niche. That is, what is that gap that you are addressing? Not to go in because Sandra started out a washing bay, then I'll do the washing bay. Do a different washing bay that is addressing the gap in the market, not just to say, well, if X has done it and is successful, then I'll also be successful. So it calls for a lot of hard work, not just having the idea and then you implement it without recourse to advice, without recourse to better planning. So again, you need a very robust business plan that is well guided and well directed to be able to survive in this tough market.
Now, Michael, we talked about how to identify the gap and then how to fill in that gap. But I want to understand from the bank's perspective, Centenary Bank, what are some of the solutions that you have on the table for your customers who are looking to start a business or for customers who want to scale up their business?
For the customers who are planning to start up, we certainly support them in business registration. We also have quite a number of business persons that could nurture them, that could mentor them as they grow into those businesses that they have identified. After registration, we certainly open up the account. We offer you that safe custody of your monies that you will be transacting, and of course a platform for collecting, for banking, and all the entire array of banking services that are available at the bank. Then to be able to support that existing business, because now if you've started, then you have to exist and scale up. We have the loan facilities, we have the working capital facilities, whereby dependent on the business at hand, we could give you any facility. And that is dependent again on your capacity to repay, your cash flows, the way you're running your business. Are you able to do the bookkeeping, the requisite bookkeeping? Are you able to tell us the deal that you would want us to stop gap? Because many times, like I said, you could have a business potential of 100 million, but working within a capital of 10 million. We can be able to cover this. You just you come to us for a conversation and we give you the right structure. And I'll give you a simple example of a structure. Say if you have a contract to deliver goods for 100 million, but your capital is 10 million. With LPO financing, we should be able to give you money, and that repayment that comes from your employer will be able to settle the loan plus the interest without even collateral. Similarly, if you are adding a stock in your business, again, we can have a conversation of you availing collateral or speaking or deploying our de-risking partner funds to cover up your collateral needs as you take out a facility from the bank. So basically, we are able to give you the banking services, the advisory services, and the financing services. On top of course, the networking, because we bring you into a family of SMEs where you'll be able to consult your peers or the cohorts within the SME industry. So
just speak to us about this platform that you have that allows different SMEs to come together, different business people to come together and, interact and learn from one another. Speak to us about that, and how can, people looking to come to Centenary Bank to tap into that knowledge, how do they do that?
Well, Sandra, we've not automated it, but we have quite a number of meetings that we arrange. Say for the investment clubs, or those that are banked with us and they prospect, we do several meetings. Currently, of course, post-COVID, we're doing a meeting per fortnight at our headquarters and a few others outside. Then the branches also arrange for their customers. And within these meetings, you're sure to at least see somebody who is dealing in the same trade as yourself, and then compare notes. Then the questions they ask within these meetings, some are related to your business. So you have the opportunity to consult with a bank and professionals in that trade that you may not be conversant with.
Oh, interesting. And finally, final question to you. This is a loan facility. At what point should a business consider taking on a loan? For example, people when business say downtown Kampala or they own a boutique, at what point do you decide that this is the point I should take a loan, and what should I consider, what should I avoid?
Well, all businesses start at that nascent stage of setup. Once you're out of setup, you certainly would require facilities. And setup is majorly to address the registration, the premises, the people to deploy, and the products to sell. Once that phase is done and you're out in the market, as long as your capital is inadequate to facilitate the transacting in your business, then you actually need financing. You have a financing gap. And that's when the conversation with the bank should commence. How much money do I need to be able to serve the financing gap? That conversation should start. And probably what services or what products will I take out from the bank to be able to cover this gap that has arisen as I run my business? And different structures apply. So as you come to the bank, we don't say, okay, one size will fit all the guys, all the startups. No, it is a conversation, and that's why I'm saying that we structure different facilities depending on the need and depending on the definition and the details of that business.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Michael Jingo. Any last remarks for businessmen and women watching this podcast today?
Well, from Centenary Bank, we'd like to thank the business community for their patronage. I will also want to appreciate the support that we've had this far. Then, of course, all our teams are equipped with the knowledge and with the products and services that should be able to support the startups, to support the existing businesses and those that would want to scale. We have an array of services ranging from the unsecured facilities, secured facilities, and those facilities that will support them to probably even acquire other businesses and also do the personal developments like home improvement loans, then real estate to be able to pivot a bit away from their businesses. So we have the entire array of services that has been cut out for businesses. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.